everyone! So you're not wrong. This is the very first scope of, oh my god, why is the lighting every time it's so bad, of Hebstars. Now, again, you're not mistaken. You can only watch because this is the only concept in which I can teach. What I'm gonna do next, after I'll finish teaching you the first lesson, aka the differences between Hebrew and English, the main differences, then I'm gonna create in a few hours when everyone are awake and more available, I assume, mainly Americans, right? I'm gonna create a Q&As, so you will have a time to watch the lesson, write some questions and notes to yourselves, and get into the Q&As, and then I'm gonna ask all your questions, okay? So now you cannot respond. This is great for me as a teacher who has ADHD, and now I can focus on teaching. Isn't it great? So again, I repeat, this is Hebstars. Hebstars is my baby business, okay? It's in the diapers, but we're gonna be huge one day. And let me explain you a little bit about me. So you know me as Ellie G, which is more of my alter ego. It is me, but it's more wild. I say exactly what I think all the time, and sometimes you can sense my hyperactivity. But my teacher persona is quite different. When I teach, I'm very focused, I'm very professional. Yes, I use humor, but I'm trying to be very focused, and I usually trying to get to my students' head. Mainly, I'm a one-on-one teacher, so I'm used to know and see exactly what the student doesn't realize. So this is very new to me. This whole live broadcast, I know I have a lot of experience as LAG, but this is different. Here I'm teaching, and therefore I blocked the comments. I'm gonna have a Q&As later on in a few hours, so grab a pen and paper, write your notes, write your questions, and I promise you I'm gonna answer all of them. Worst case scenario, you're gonna send it to me to my Twitter Hebstars account. So again, welcome everyone for coming. I hope I look to the right directions, which is you, right? When I look here, it's not the same. I look here, great. Let's start. So, yeah. So I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. The board is all ready. I'm gonna go there in a second, but first I wanna tell you who I am. Well, I am a Hebrew teacher. I am teaching for the past few years Hebrew. Let me just say, and be more exact, modern Hebrew. I do not teach biblical Hebrew. You don't need biblical Hebrew. And when you know modern Hebrew, you understand biblical Hebrew naturally. Okay? So it's gonna come later on. But right now, it's more important for you to know modern Hebrew, which is the language you can actually use. Not just in Israel. It's a common mistake. Modern Hebrew is great. It's easy. It's not as difficult as you think. And let me just show you how. So I was a Hebrew Ulpan teacher. Ulpan is a school just for Hebrew. I was teaching one-on-one, sometimes small groups. I used to make tailor-made courses for each student I have. Okay, so the Ulpan job was to just bring the students into my class. From the second they entered my class for the next 10 days, they were mine. I was the one who built the course for them, according to what they need. Often it was changed during the course, and so on. So I remember from the first day I entered Ulpan, I was starting to realize that this physical Ulpan, this physical class where students come, I don't think that's the future. From second one, I knew I'm gonna make the new version, the new Ulpan 2.0, which means a virtual Ulpan, okay? So this is my Hebstars business. This is my Hebstars website. It's coming soon. I expect less than a month from now. Meanwhile, you can go to hebstars.com and hebstars.com and you can register, so you will be the first one to know when the website will be alive, I guess, on air, out there, which is gonna be great because my website answer needs that I met when I was in class. I used to write notes all the time for my students, all the time. I was teaching them and, multitask, writing messages and notes to myself, things that my students says they need. And as a Ulpan teacher, I couldn't give it to them. All kind of needs. So then I decided, it's all came together to one idea. I'm going to create HebStarts, which will be a virtual Ulpan with me teaching all the classes. And my goals are 3 goals. My first goal will be to simplify the material. I think that it's being taught in the wrong way all along. I think that there are too many titles, too many information, unnecessary information, that the student, you just wrap the good information, just wrap it with titles and binyanim, not binyanim, and all kind of names that you don't need once you understand what the names represent. So I'm definitely going to simplify the material. I'm going to teach the way I love to be taught. That's one. Number 2, I want to create a community, because a need that I met the most is that once students finish learning in the Ulpan, they used to go home to their country, whatever it is. I even have students from Ivory Island. And then that's it, you know. If they didn't assign and paid a lot of money for another course, that's it, it was over. And then everything they learned, sometimes 2 courses for 2 months, they come back to Germany, they come back to Ivory Island, and they don't remember anything. Or they remember some, but naturally information will fade out if you don't, work on it. So HebStarts will definitely help you work on it. Free, no charge. Some courses will cost and some will not. There will be a lot of free information there that you can watch and remember the material. And number 3 will be the experience. I believe that Hebrew learning should be fun. Any learning should be fun. Any learning. And it shouldn't be, like you remember from school, like a teacher, and it should be fun. For example, in the Ulpan, I used to go with my students to a coffee shop, and we used to order in Hebrew from the menu. And that was a basic Hebrew student. Like that was like his 3rd lesson, but it's so much more fun to sit in a coffee shop and learn from there. So of course I'm not going to sit in a coffee shop with every student of HebStarts. Some of them maybe when they come to visit Israel, but the whole experience thing. So there is no reason why it shouldn't be around an experience and around fun, and it's definitely possible, and it depends on the teacher. Let me just say, truly it depends on the teacher, and I like teaching, and I think Hebrew is easy, at least not as difficult. And let me show you now the main differences between Hebrew and English as they are on the board, okay? Let's start. Welcome to the board. This is a board I had in the Ulpan. They bought new boards. They wanted to throw this one to the garbage, and I said, no, give it to me. And I took 2, so I'm very happy with myself. Good for you, Eleanor. Okay, so next lesson we're going to talk about what it means more deeply. But, you guys, Hebrew is not like English. I think you got it until now. Hebrew is a Semitic language, which means the rules and the structure is completely different than English. And the main difficulties of English speakers starts when they try to apply rules of English on Hebrew, which is a Semitic language. You cannot do that. Okay? So it's like, I don't know, oil and water. So we need to bring you guys to our world. And let me tell you, the world of Semitic languages is great world. It is a great world. And I will make you fall in love in Hebrew if you will stick around. By the way, you're more than welcome to share this scope. So other people will know about HebStarts and will get my free lessons and free information, which I do from the bottom of my heart, because I truly believe, and I'm tired to hear that Hebrew is difficult when it's not. So this is an amazing world of Semitic languages, and I will break your frustration, I promise you. Whether if you're beginners or advanced, I'm going to help you go here and fall in love with Hebrew, I promise. Okay? So, yes, so this leaves a lot of English speakers frustrated. And this is why I hear a lot, Hebrew is difficult, Hebrew is difficult. It became a motto. You guys, first lesson, stop saying Hebrew is difficult, open your mind, and now we will understand what exactly is different. So when we talk about the order of the words in the sentence, mainly it's pretty similar. It's pretty the same. You have subject, verb, and the rest of the sentence. So when is the difference starts? I will show you. Difference starts when you use an adjective, okay? When you use an adjective. Adjective means a word that describes. For example, I want to say the boy ate an apple. Then it will be exactly like in Hebrew. הילד אכל תפוח. By the way, I hope you know by now that the main difference is that Hebrew starts from right to left. English, you know, left to right. So, Hebrew, right to left. So, again, I'm talking about the first difference, which is an adjective description word. If in English I will say the boy ate an apple, it's exactly like Hebrew. Before I add the adjective, הילד אכל תפוח. Good. Now let's see what happens when I add an adjective. I actually wrote it on the window. It's coming off. Don't be scared. Okay? So the boy ate an apple. When I add the word nice, it's actually here. The nice boy ate an apple. So the adjective will come before my subject. It's not like that in Hebrew. In Hebrew there is, let me just say, a little bit more logic. First I say what I describe and then I describe it. In Hebrew you will say, the boy, the nice, ate an apple. That's the first difference. No, it doesn't mean you have to remember that, but just keep it in mind. That's the first difference when it comes to the order of words in the sentence. Now, let's see when we add some more description words. So, in English it will be description words. Nice, intelligent, young men ate an apple. In Hebrew, you're probably guessing by now. A nice, intelligent, young man. That, all of this will come after what I describe, men. So it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Next, we're finished with that. Tenses. I already wrote it on the board, so I'm not going to ask you. Also, you cannot answer, haha. Hebrew is not difficult than English. Here is the proof. In Hebrew, we have only 3 tenses. Past, present, and future. Oh my god, in English you have 16, you guys. You have 16 tenses in English. That's a lot. For each tense, almost for each tense you have in Hebrew, you have about, I don't know, 4 in English, something like that. That's a lot. And this is the reason why Hebrew speakers should be confused when they try to use verbs in English, when they try to use the verb system in English. That's confusing. That's really confusing, let me tell you, as a Hebrew speaker. So, when you go from English to Hebrew, you go only to 3 tenses. Isn't it great? Past, present, and future. And that's it. Let's see examples. Okay, you don't have to look here if it's too difficult for you. I will tell it. Okay, yeah, look here. No, it's not that difficult. In Hebrew, if I want to say these, I studied English, I was studying English, I have studied English, I had studied English. 4 ways to say one thing in Hebrew. Ani, I'm, למדתי, studied, English, אנגלית. That's it. אני למדתי אנגלית. That's it. Now look how you complicate it in English. 4 ways. Now, of course I'm kidding when I'm saying complicating it, because it means that you put some more information in the verb system. It doesn't mean that Hebrew doesn't have information in the verb system. It has. But you relate more to the nuances. For example, I don't need to tell you about your verb system, but you already know. When did the action happen? Does it happen usually? Does it happen right now? So you really go into the nuances, and we're not. We just say simply, I studied English. That's it. One way to say what you say in 4 different ways. Next, number of words. So English takes from Latin and from French, among the rest, and it has a variety of sources. So English has far more words than Hebrew does. 250, it's difficult to know how many words are there in a language, to be more exact, but around 250,000 words in English, and only around 75,000 words in Hebrew. So you can see the difference. Now you would say, why do I care? Well, you should care because it means that we use less words. Okay? What happens to me? We use less words in Hebrew, which some will say it's got to do with our culture. Okay, we try to have everything right here, right now. We're a culture. You know, they said that the language is the face of the culture. We try to shorten things, and you can see it definitely in the number of words in Hebrew. Next, pronunciation. So, C in English, for example, can be pronounced, because it comes from Latin and French and all that, then it can be pronounced as all of these, okay? C can be S, C can be K, K, C can be Ch, and C can be Sh, like in the word machine, okay? So you don't have that in Hebrew. In Hebrew, usually a letter just stands, a consonant is just, it has like one sound. Besides, like a few letters, about 3 letters, that if you put a dot inside, it has like a hard sound or a soft sound. For example, let me find my pen. Where is my pen? Just a second. For example, okay, these are 2 letters, okay? Usually, bet will be b, v. If I put a dot, it will be like b. If I don't put a dot, it will be like v. Here the same. If I put a dot in this letter, it will be like k. If I don't put a dot, it will be ch. You don't have the sound ch. Let's describe it as a spit. Okay, I always describe ch as a spit. I'm sorry, that's the sound it makes. Okay, so only a few letters have this, but most letters, if I'm gonna write g, that's g and that's it. If I'm gonna write d, that's d and that's it. So this is another differences in pronunciation. You guys can pronounce one consonant, one letter, in so many ways. We have less of those, which shows you that Hebrew is simpler than English. Next, prepositions. You do know what are prepositions, right? Oh, sorry, before prepositions, gender and pronouns. Now, I don't need to tell you, this is like the main issue that English speakers have. Of course, I'm talking about the gender of pronouns. Everything for us, and I know it's funny, let me show you myself a little bit so you won't get bored. For us, everything has a gender. I know it's funny, yes. A table is a he. A car is a she. I know, and you can hear it a lot when us Hebrew speakers sometimes confuse when we try to speak English. It happens to me a lot. When I when I try to translate a sentence and it can come out as I have a car. You will say I have a car. It is red. I will translate sometimes if I'm confused. I will translate I have a car. She is red. I know it's funny, but that exposed to you the fact that we see the world in gender. Happens. So everything got a gender, and yes, I know this is the number one that frustrates English speakers. They say, oh my god, am I gonna learn all the genders of all the words? Well, relax, it's gonna come with time. Don't be stressed about it. And sometimes I can tell you a secret, sometimes you can feel it and you can sense. For example, of course a dress is feminine, just for example. But of course you can't apply it on every word, like you can't use your logic with every word. Sometimes you have tricks in the word itself. We're going to learn it when we go over the text in our next lessons. Okay? Okay, so as I told you, I have a car. She is great. So the word car in Hebrew, mechonit, is feminine. So every word in Hebrew, every pronoun has a gender and also a number, by the way. Okay? Next, prepositions. You do know what are prepositions, right? For example, in English, I will say, on Monday at 5, meet me on Monday at 5 in the park. I just used 3 different prepositions, on, at, in. You know what? In Hebrew, all of these, we're going to use for places and time, we're just going to use be. be. תפגשי אותי ביום שני, ב-5, בפארק. So be or ba depends of if it's specific. In a park or in the park. Anyway, it's kind of the same. So these were the first main differences, the first lesson, and the main differences in between English and Hebrew. I hope you enjoy it. I know it was pretty difficult. It is Periscope. It was not usual and pretty difficult to just listen and want to speak and want to write and can't. This is the only way I can teach my lessons. It doesn't mean I'm shutting you out. It means that I'm definitely going to broadcast, definitely going to scope. I'm giving you all time to watch it. Later on, I'm going to create a Q&As, and all we're going to do is answer your question. All I'm going to do is answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you wrote a few things. You still have time to share this scope with anyone that you will think will be interested in learning Hebrew. Modern Hebrew, not biblical Hebrew. It's not going to help you in life. But when you know modern Hebrew, which will help you in life, then you can definitely conclude about biblical Hebrew. I think the right way for someone who wants to learn biblical Hebrew, you have to go through modern Hebrew. You have to. It has too many things in common, and that's the basic. Before you learn how to run, you need to walk. Okay? And that's my message for you. I'm gonna finish with this. Okay? Wait a minute. Why is it not in focus? Why is it not on focus? It's not on focus. So, I'm gonna do this. Ha ha ha. Is it backwards? Anyway, Twitter, Hebstars, I'm there. YouTube, Hebstars, I'm also there. And hebstars.com is my website, coming soon. And put your email there. You're gonna be on my list. When the site will be on, you'll be the first one to know. You want to do it. Trust me, I'm going to have so many cool stuff there, including my own TV show, my own broadcasts. I have so many plans for my business, and it depends on you. If you will want to learn and you will be present in my community,